So I had a choice really when I was in Dubai to think, what shall I go in as, more Lucy Magic Maker or as a clown? And I just went for it. I thought, no, I'm standing by this clown. I want my nose on and I want the full. And they loved it. Absolutely loved it.
From Ministry of Work, welcome to Greater Manchester's Greatest Minds podcast, a show about Greater Manchester's pioneers, entrepreneurs and visionaries, and the stories that brought their ideas to life. I'm Eddie Whittingham, and on today's show I'm joined by Lucy Wilkinson, better known as Luby Lou the Clown. I first saw Lucy perform at the Trafford Centre and my daughters absolutely loved her. Little did I know, Lucy's journey has taken her from following in the footsteps of her dad, who was also a clown, performing at local parties through to international stages in Dubai, and from entertaining in grand ballrooms to performing in hospital wards using laughter as medicine. As a clown doctor at Manchester Children's Hospital, Lucy also provides lighter moments for young patients and their families.
Yeah, so I'm Lucy Wilkinson. You may know me as Luby Lou. I'm from a lovely little town called Lee. I was brought up in the business. My dad was a clown, Trumbull the Clown, well known in Lee and further afield as well. So yeah, I was brought up in the business since the age of 6. My name was Lulu and my sister was Boo Boo, and she enjoyed it, but not as much as me. Yeah. So hence why I've carried on the family tradition as Luby Lou.
That must have been like an interesting childhood then, presumably. Was that your dad's full-time job?
Oh, no, he was a painter and decorator by trade. Right. And then he owned a gym partnership with 3 other guys. That was more of a hobby. And then he decided to be a clown. My mum had a fancy dress hire, so he was always like into and he was rugby background as well, rugby union. So we grew up in the rugby union club. I think he was in there when I was born. He was a character. Arnold was his name. Small character. Small but big character. Yeah. Cheeky. So it's an interesting upbringing because we also then, when he said he wanted to become a clown, we was like, right, okay. And then I don't think he expected it to take off like it did. And in them days, there wasn't any clowns in Lee. So he was very busy and he was good. He was really good at it. And then me and my sister helped him at every weekend. We didn't really have a choice. No. We didn't.
Well, then I suppose for you, that was probably, you just going to parties at weekends, right?
Yeah, we got paid 50p a show.
Oh, well, there you go, exactly.
£2.50 a day. So me and my sister we'd take it in turns. But then also, we used to also work at the gym every evening. So we used to get off the school bus and go straight to the gym. And then that again, we used to take it in turns. So we kind of learned the value of money from a very, very young age.
And work, right?
So we had to work for our money. So we bought all our own clothes and anything, we wanted, we had to buy with our money. So, So I'm really grateful now, looking back. At the time, you're probably thinking, oh, why is my dad a clown?
Did you feel like that as a young one, do you think?
Well, I loved it. I did love it. And I actually loved money as well. So I didn't mind going, I just kept putting he needed us. So I kept putting my wages up. He couldn't do the show without us.
And also it's quite a unique thing to do with your dad, isn't it? I think most, particularly like girl and dad relationships, would love to play more with the dads probably.
Yeah.
But you've had that in abundance, no doubt.
Yeah. It was fun. Looking back, it was fun. But he did, as we all, like somebody said today, in that day, when at the time when you think, gosh, he's a clown, he's a painter and decorator. He was a workaholic really. So he worked all day long as a painter and decorator. And then clowning all weekend, and then at the gym in the evening. So I know he does nothing now.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Walks his dog, which that was hard really to go. What, you're just going to do? Not like stop everything, and he did. Sold the gym and everything. Yeah, so Yeah, so growing up as a teenager was probably a little bit embarrassing, but it was just cracked on with it, to be honest, because people took the mick out of you, but we all took the mick out of each other anyway as friends, so I didn't mind it, and they still call me clown now, so it's fine.
And when did you decide that you wanted to do it? Like, what was, because going through your sort of school, obviously maybe a bit like, oh, I don't know, Dad, whatever.
Yeah.
And then did you have aspirations to do anything else, or was it? Did you kind of know early on that I'm going to do this?
Yeah, no. I was only talking about this to my daughter yesterday because I went to do leisure and tourism. I was like, I'm not being a clown. I am being an air hostess.
Right.
that is not what. So I did leisure and tourism at college, and then my dad took me to the airport for my first interview, but I couldn't drive. And I went for my interview and I didn't get the job because I couldn't drive. And he just on the way home, he just said, do you not want to become a clown? I was like, go on then. He was like, no, but I'm talking like, I'll teach you all the mistakes I made, because he wanted to be big. He wanted to travel the world. He wanted with us as a clown show, an illusion show, because we did a magic show. And it gets like that in the magician world of like, they want all these super magic tricks, and we used to go to the convention and they was just like, wow, do you lot not sleep? Are you just all showing each other tricks all the time? And yeah, he had this dream to go big, and he invested so much money, so much time dancing in teachers, and it didn't work because we were at school. We wanted to be with our friends, so it was his dream.
Yeah.
And so he used to then say, I'll learn you all the mistakes. He says, you should always try and build an act out of a little suitcase. And he used to have this little suitcase. Always build an act. You can go anywhere in the world with this little suitcase. And I was like, wow, and that's kind of stuck with me. But then just speaking to Ella, my eldest daughter, yesterday, she was filling out a CV and she says, it's like, they asked, can you drive? And I was like, yeah, driving, because she can drive, and is a big thing. I said, I didn't get my my air hostessing job because I couldn't drive. So that's amazing. And you realise she's worked with all my children have worked with me as my helpers and done the same, paid them. But now they've...
More than 50p, I hope.
More than 50p? Yeah. I think Martha's on more than me. Yeah, so it's nice that they've all had a flavour of it. None of them's with me at the moment. I don't know why.
They're going through that phase. That's what it is. They'll come back.
Yeah, they will. And as I was saying, it was my dad's dream to go big with this magician show. And I did the same with Ella with a saxophone. It was my dream for her to play the saxophone. I was like, she's your eldest, and you're thinking, oh, come on, Ella, you've got, and I'll get you lessons. And she did. And then the day she got to high school, she just ditched the saxophone. So I was like, right, I'll play it then. And it stayed there on the floor in my office for about a year. And then I was having a 20 years party for Luby. So I made it my goal to play the Jubal tune. Right, I'll have lessons. So I did it, and it stayed in my show, because then I thought, oh, kids they're not that bothered if it's not perfect.
They don't care.
So they
just want a good time.
They just want to go to IB. So they all go, when we go to IB for Luby, I'm like, in a bit, just wait.
How old? You were young when you started then, right?
Yeah, well, I was 18.
And you were doing it full time?
Yeah, well, literally, my dad was very good at throwing you in the deep end, though. He just literally gave me, he couldn't do one of his shows one day, and he just gave me his trunk. He used to have an old-fashioned trunk painted. And he went, there you go and do me 3 shows. I can't do them. I was like, what? And he did the same when I first started driving. He went, just get on the motorway. We're going to Scotland. I was like, what? Anyway, it was in the middle of, I always remember to this day, it was in the dark, raining on the motorway, and he's just asleep. I'm like,
you're the one petrified. Go to your first show ever, and he's just having a snooze.
Yeah, he's having a snooze. So yeah, I think going back to the saxophone, it was my dream, so not Ella's. So now I just let them find their own feet, and they might come back and do other things in the Luby business or in the business, because Ella's now wanting to go into digital marketing or accountancy, and I need both of them.
Yeah, do both, ideally.
Do both of them, yeah. And Martha wants to go into fashion.
Also handy, right?
Yeah, you can design me a clown outfit.
So talk to me. I think I find it fascinating because a lot of people listening to this won't have any knowledge about the history of clowns. Where did it even originate from? Yeah,
well, in many countries, it's quite big, like America. And I trained as a clown doctor, and they're all over the world, and it's very big in places like France, Spain, clown doctoring. But I believe it originally comes from Egypt,
Right.
and it's very originates from the church.
Okay.
I'm intrigued. This is all very new at the moment. I've been having interviews by some students in Leeds, and an artist as well, and just who's local. We want to create some artwork on the clown and what children see as a clown is. And
because it's a fascinating thing, isn't it? Like, 'cause it does and it has done for generations after generation after generation, hasn't it? Like, captivated kids.
It has, yeah. And kids love it. And then it goes into that scary bracket as well, which is just kind of every Halloween you get a radio show phoning you up saying, there's clowns in a park. Can you come and talk to us about clowns? And and it is bring back the traditional kind of clown, which are fun, gentle. They tune into the energy in the room, the soft and just it's kind of just light, isn't it?
It's like that sort of unbridled lightness that children deserve ultimately.
Yeah.
You mentioned then clown doctor. Tell us about that. What's that for people that might not know?
Yeah, so we use clowns in hospitals to bring that joy, distraction, relieves pain as well. Laughter is the best medicine. So when I was 18, I trained with a charity called the Theodora Children's Trust. 2 brothers, their mum died, Theodora, it was her wish to bring clowns into hospitals, so they did, and we had you design your own clown coat, doctor's coat. I was Dr. Lulu. It's a lot of training what goes into it as well. We have a year's training. Going into hospitals in London. We were the first in Manchester, so we trained in Great Ormond Street and Guy's for over a year, and we had lots of workshops by medical side of things, psychology side, and then in the clown side, entertainment and clowning. So lots of role play, lots of observing for a long time, and then you go into your clown costume and you do lots of days where you are like the junior clowns, and then you get your own stamp of Dr. Lulu. And we came to Manchester, me and Barrington.
Presumably that there's not. Do many hospitals in the UK have that? Yeah,
it's quite big actually. The Theodore Clown Doctor, they're actually called Giggle Doctors now, which, so they're now called Giggle Doctors instead of Clown Doctors, and they took the nose away, which
right.
I was
Why is that?
Because it was kind of, maybe they might have had a complaint of clowns being scary.
Does the nose make or break a clown being scary? Like, you're either going to be scared by a clown or not. I don't know if the nose is the deciding factor of it being scary.
I love the nose, and when I went over to Dubai to work on the hospitals, I was like, oh gosh, are they going to accept the clown? Are they not? And I was like, because now in Manchester hospitals, I'm actually a magic maker. I come away from the charity, and we set up our own charity for just Royal Manchester Children's Hospital. So we call the Manchester Magic Medics, Magic Makers. But we all do the same job.
Yeah.
But we had to be something different than the clowns because they're still going there. So I had a choice really when I was in Dubai to think, what shall I go in as, more Lucy Magic Maker or as a clown? And I just went for it. I thought, no, I'm standing by this clown. I want my nose on, and I want the full. And they loved it, absolutely loved it. So I'm like, no, I want to be kind of really proud to be a clown and not shy away from it, because another thing my dad did used to say to me is, you're a clown, not a children's entertainer. So, and because I did kind of go down that children's entertaining of being using a lot of outer stuff all the time to make yourself look better than you are.
Like what? Yeah, what's the difference there then?
It goes back to that suitcase. You should be able to get on a stage and entertain out of that suitcase with very minimal. Yeah, and you learn a lot of this being on the wards at the Children's Hospital.
Yeah, because you've got all the props there, right?
Yeah, and it's not a ready-made audience where you can go to a kid's birthday party and it's 50 children, what are the age of
sat
6,
down ready,
sat down ready, knowing that they're getting a clown and they're coming eating food and they're going running around crazy for 2 hours. Whereas then in the hospital, you just never know what you're walking into, because you work in the room out and the situation constantly, because sometimes you might not be able to go and want to go and visit one of the children because they might have doctors around them and not they might be really upset. Bad news. But then you might have another child you can tell that eye contact, that kind of, right, okay, I'll just kind of go a little bit this way. And it is that energy as well of, right, I'll try a little bit, I'll give it a little bit of eye contact over here so they know that I'm here and I'm not kind of ignoring them. But you just know where to go. I
presume the hospital work must be like immensely rewarding.
Oh, it's just amazing. It really is, just to see a sick child and parents as well. I've just come from Manchester Children's Hospital now, and just one of the. I was rotated in to go to. We have a rota, so I was in A&E today, not on the wards, and just a grandma was just like, wow, this is just what we need, and it is why they're waiting and scared.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're in either, a lot of these will be long-term patients, I presume, as well as those who are in that short term where they're scared, and they're either long-term and probably extremely bored, and
and then go on to intensive care as well. Just we cover the whole, and it becomes your family as well, because oncology ward, you with families like through the whole journey. It can be years and years. So it's it's special work, and we're there to bring the light, and that the light will always kind of ease the dark time that they're going through. Yeah. So you've got to make sure that you look after your own light though as well.
Yeah, because you need to be able to go in and be the best you can be. Right?
Exactly,
otherwise,
exactly that. Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing work.
Yeah.
What other opportunities have you sort of had through clowning? Because like I say, it's just such a fascinating area that I don't think people have any exposure to other than seeing you perform or a clown perform. They don't see the work probably that goes in behind the scenes. Yeah,
and it's a business. It is show business, as Paul Daniels used to say. So there is a lot what goes into it behind the scenes. First, getting the work. Mm-hmm. I mean, back in the day, it were yellow pages. Yeah.
What is it now? Where does most of your work? Word of mouth?
That is probably the best that because you then attract your people you want to kind of work for.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's recommendations is just the best, and working on trust. But obviously, you can't just rely on that. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You've got to kind of keep going with different ideas, keeping it fresh. So obviously social media is massive. It really is. But then it's getting that balance though, because you can keep sharing of all the great stuff that you're doing, and people then just presume that you're busy all the time because it makes you look really busy.
Yeah, so almost like, oh, I'll never be able to get her because she's too busy almost.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I've had a really quiet March, like probably the quietest March known.
Right.
And that then again is kind of affecting you as well, because you're thinking, what is it me? Is it the world? Is it this? Right, okay, we'll try another direction now. And then I look back on the stuff what I used to do. I'm like, I used to do Giggles on Wheels when the pandemic hit. Let's go back to a little bit of that. And then let's go back to the events, because I used to do loads of events. So it's kind of, you just keep shuffling it around. It's all,
like you say, it's running a business, right? You test and learn and adapting to see where the kind of money's going to come in from ultimately. And
that's it.
And also that interesting thing about having a quiet month, but then if you can zoom out and go, actually, well, it's quiet, but I maybe had an okay month there, so that levels it out kind of thing. It's that ability to kind of remove yourself a bit from it. I think it's quite interesting.
It is.
Because I think the interesting from my side of things, when obviously my girls saw you at the Trafford Centre doing a show, it was like, you've got really great social media presence, you've got merchandise, like it's an advanced business. It's not, a clown who just comes to and does small parties, is it? It's way more. Do you do like quite a lot of corporate stuff as well?
Yeah, I do. Like obviously the Trafford Centre world class as a corporate, and lots of big parties as well, corporate Barclays Bank, or there's loads. Like then you go into big chains of hotels and things, and then there's the Christmas golf clubs and all the works part. It goes on and on. Yeah, there's
what's your like favourite bit of it all?
I have so many favourite bits. I think sometimes I'm trying to go back to the more traditional way of where going back to more of my roots of where I've started, and I feel like in COVID we've lost our way of planning a party. So, for instance, on Sunday, I was in a church hall what I've not been in for years, and I remember even going in that church hall when my dad was clowning and I was helping him, and it was just a traditional party. They didn't have party bags. We just went home with some cake. It wasn't too over the top. It was just the parents and the kids was just having the best time
really
ever. Really wholesome, full of love, full of laughter, and they'll remember it. And I was like, this is what parties like just used to be in a church hall, and they're like...
Yeah, I suppose that's interesting because like these days it's always, I don't know, it always has to be something like quite extravagant or OTT, but
yeah, and I do.
The kids don't need it, do they?
No,
Truthfully.
But I do the extravagant parties, and I still love them. I love all the parties. I really, really do, because I do have extravagant parties for my own kids and go all OTT. But they're older now. They're like no,
not the same ones. No, they just want to get drunk or whatever. Is it knackering me? Because like I'm a parent of two, and it's tiring looking after my own children, let alone trying to entertain 20 or 30 of them.
It's really not.
That's a skill. That's definitely a natural talent.
I come home and I am literally buzzing. Really, I'm buzzing. Do you know what? I'm probably more buzzing when I've done 3 shows than I have just doing one. So just getting in my gear to go and do one show, even though it's lovely. I am loving the one. You have to be careful what you wish for, don't you? You do, because I'm really doing just the one show a day is probably where I want to kind of be. Is rather than the going from party to party to party. That is what I used to do back in the day. I just want to do one amazing party and just be totally present.
And be able to be fully invested in it without thinking what time I need to wrap up.
What time am I going to my next party? But it's as long as you just leave enough time in between each one to breathe and stuff like that.
Get a Lucozade down your neck or something.
When I look back of how I used to go from one to another, I don't know. And my kids were young. 3 girls, and my husband was a policeman. He's retired now, and I really look back to those days and I think, how? Because these was 3 weekends out of 5, and when you had that busiest weekend and you've got a family do to go to at night, and Stuart's at work, and you get a phone call when you get that phone call, Stuart, and I think, right, here we go, he's got a job and we're not going to see him now for another 3 days, and it's always when it's your busiest. It's It's not when you're not doing nothing.
No, obviously.
So that was that. When we look back, it was tough, but I was trying to think actually on the way here of how did we do that? And I can just say it was a good family and friends around us, because we used to dump our kids. We
Needs
did.
Must though.
It's done them no harm. And look at them now, and they're really self-sufficient. The girls are really self-sufficient. They can cook.
And I dare say they'll have a really good work ethic. Seeing you guys work as hard as you did, because that's half the battle.
Exactly, and you're just leading by example, aren't you? If they can see you're doing a good job, and they'll hopefully then take that into their lives.
And what's your big sort of goal or dreams with Luby Lou? Like, I think you mentioned off camera, you've tried at times to build the team around you and things like that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, and then what your ideal would be? Like, where would you love to take it if you could?
I always used to have a big dream of a Luby Lou lounge, a place where people could come and have a party rather than me keep going up and down that M60. And my husband kept going, no, Lucy, no, you can't even manage yourself, never mind you've never managed any staff. And I'm like, Stuart, it's not that hard, I can do that. So I did try and grow my not to a Luby Lounge.
Yeah.
I listened to him on that, and that did actually quite scare me in COVID, actually, because I was on a mission trying to find somewhere for this Luby Lounge, and he kept going, no, and I was like, oh, look at this place. He's like, no. And then when COVID hit, I was like, he kept going, just imagine if you had your Luby Lounge now. No, just imagine if you had your Luby Lounge.
Yeah, I told you so.
I'm like, all right, okay, I'll start listening to you in future. So then I did try and grow my team again, and didn't have things in place, contracts. Again, Stuart telling me, like, Lucy, like, oh, no.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. My famous words, it'll be fine. So that kind of backfired a little bit as well, but it's all learning curves.
Of course it is,
and so I was like, completely, right, no, I am not growing my team, and I am going back to just Luby. No more dreams, no more Luby Lounge, no more trying to grow merch, because I was trying to grow merch as well and events. I was like, nope, just going back to just being me with my Luby dolls. Yeah. I've got like 1,400 of these in the loft, which again, Stuart says, you just give them away.
Yeah, you do. I noticed that other thing. I was like, stop giving them. The businessman in me was like, stop giving them away.
There's a full comedy script, because I always say it's the clown and the copper. Stuart is actually funnier than me, and he'll do a full script on me giving them away and everything else what goes into business. So I've started listening more to Stuart, and it's improved our relationship actually.
Yeah,
now I listen to him, and the business,
yeah.
So I would still like to go down growing the business again, but being a lot more careful, and more down kind of the merchandise side of things and the events. And I've worked with a production company at Christmas and employed their Santa and elves, and they're like, would you like to go Luby on tour? And I was like, oh, that would be amazing. Have a full, you saw it at the Trafford Centre. Can you imagine if you had a band behind you, some kind of comedy clown in the background, playing a guitar, dancers? And I was like, yeah,
it kind of could become self-perpetuating then, because then all of a sudden then the production values are higher and so on and so
exactly.
on. Yeah.
And so you kind of teaming up with somebody, but you're not in that, you're kind of outsourcing that team coming together and collaborate. I think collaboration is a big word, isn't it? Is a big thing of just finding somebody to collaborate and just making it more, rather than being too involved in each other's, right, this is your business, this is mine. Let's collaborate together and let's make something magic.
So maybe go on tour. That's one.
Maybe go on tour.
What else?
And then the Dubai, I was very close to kind of getting a contract in one of the hospitals in Dubai, and it's been going on for 12 months. I went out there with my daughter, my eldest daughter. It was her dream to I always say, when you're 18, you can have your dream holiday or what you want dream. So Ella's was to go to Dubai, and I was like, oh gosh, never been to Dubai before. Never been out to Lee much. No. So it's a bit extravagant for me, but we went, and there was something there what I loved. I was like, why? What? Didn't expect to love it. And then somebody said, reach out to Dr. Oz Schreider. He's at the Children's Hospital. So I did. Found him at Power of Social Media, found him on LinkedIn. So I went on the last day. I went, Ella, you stay here. I'm going.
It's like, Mum, will you quit clowning? Right?
Yeah. He took me for 2 hours. He took out of his day to take me all around the hospital. I mean, these are busy doctors. And I was just blown away. He was like, when are you moving out here? I'm like,
just on holiday.
Just say hello. We're booked in a restaurant tonight. So it just didn't leave my mind. And all this, what happened with growing the business. And my husband just kept saying, just go back out and just go on your own and just see if you can see what you can do. So I did, and took my clown outfit, my saxophone, and went and worked on the wards at the Children's Hospital. And then realised there was another doctor who I used to do his kids' parties out here, and he was there because they all went in COVID. I'm like, what? Oh, he's here? Right, okay, I found him, and same again. He's like, what are you doing here, Lucy? I'm like, well, you tell me. And I ended up in the CEO of the children of the American hospital in his office, sat there. I was like, he went, I know entertainment works, and we want you and come and work. So I worked on the last day and then got stuck in the floods for 4 days. I got stuck in the airport. That wasn't pleasant. No clown outfit.
Sat in your clown outfit.
No, I only had my saxophone on my back. That was it. I had to leave my case. I got back eventually. That was an adventure to get back, but passionate about your work. I had 4 days to get back for these 2 parties and it wasn't looking hopeful. It wasn't at all. It was a miracle how I got back. For these parts. I knew I would have got back, but it was like 2 weeks.
To be into,
They were saying 2 weeks. It was like, oh, wow. Anyway, and then went back again to 21 days after. I had my Reiki attunement when I was there by a lady. And she said, you'll be back in 21 days. She told me I wouldn't get home as well. I was like, what?
Something going on here.
What's going on here? She said, I'd be back in 21 days. And there I was, working in the Mercato Mall. And then went to the American Hospital again. So it's still there. The seed's still there. I've planted the Lubaloo magic. I know there's a space there for clowns at the on the hospitals because they don't have any.
Could be a worse gig, that one, couldn't there?
I know, that's it. So who knows where that's going to go? But it would be nice just to go and experience it and to go, wow, could we put clowns in the hospital here? So. Who knows?
And all that from your dad starting in League.
All that from this little,
you can't rope your dad back in to do the odd show there.
Well,
I bet you tried.
When I was on at the Trafford Centre and I had I took his clown outfit and I was like, Dad, would you not just make an appearance on the stage? He's like, I keep thinking about it, and then I just go, no.
That's it. He's going to then. He will. He'll cave one day. You just need a big enough stage. That's what it is.
Exactly.
You just wait, and then he's going to steal the limelight.
He is. Yeah. I so will. And that's one thing when I had my Reiki attunement by an amazing lady in Dubai who spoke to me about clown energy. I was like, what's clown energy? She was like, you're just full of clown energy. And I was like, tell me more. And we've had so many conversations on energy and the work, what we do in the hospital. What's really made me question more about the work of what it is and seeing children and watching children more. And I see clowning in certain children. I'm like, oh, wow, it'd be amazing to set up our own, for all the clowns out there, set up our own clown school. And that's what Joanna was talking to me about the inner child and not just for children, for adults to come to our clown school to fire up that inner child and that joy. Yeah,
you could almost see that as like corporate away days and all. You could though, couldn't you?
It really does go on. And Joanna wants to be a clown and I've got her a little red nose because we obviously put a little red nose on, and she wants to be a clown as well. And I'm like, wow, all these older people now want to be a clown. Where's it? So that's why my dad might come back into it. He could teach all this.
Exactly.
So she was so nostalgic. She was wanting me to find. She wants me to find my dad's old clown van. I believe it's still alive because we put the registration number. It was an old ambulance, and it was all painted in clown and painted in clowns and parrots and ABC curtains. And I think she's wanting me to find it, to bring back that nostalgia. And I feel like going to Dubai, even if I don't ever go back there again, it's fired that Lubaloo sparkle and that clown back up inside me, because I feel like in COVID you lost so many things through fear. A lot of people did, and I'd just been on a retreat I did the Medicine Festival last year, which was just unreal. And I met a lady there who we did shaking yoga, and I do it in my show with kids. It's amazing. I was doing it this morning, but Stuart come down and told me off at 5 in the morning going, I have my earphones. I have my earphones in. I didn't know. I was chanting. I went on this retreat on Wednesday in the Cotswolds because I met this lady, shaking yoga lady. She's from Bahamas, and she was coming over, and I knew that I would meet her again. And she teaches bioenergy with leaders, and she's going off. She's in Dubai. She's all over, and I can see it. I did a full day. It was long. It was 8 till 6 of this energy channeling, and I'm just like, wow. I just had the most magical day yesterday after you've released all, because you're releasing toxins, trauma, things what lie in our body, and she's so thing on make sure you have water, because everything what's coming out of you, it can get stuck again somewhere else. And I'm like, this is real magic stuff.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So you've got your own like personal development journey as well as your professional one.
Yeah, but I only went down my personal development journey after COVID because I didn't stop until then. So I was probably a bit like my dad as a machine, whereas just, keep going and in fight and flight. I had so many people and I see so many people in fight and flight. Training, I was obsessed with training because I was brought up in a gym.
Of course.
Yeah, and I thought I was doing a super job because I can train, I can look after 3 kids, I can go and do 3 shows, I can cook homemade meals, and wow, how super am I? But it catches up with you.
It does.
It does.
Unfortunately.
When you stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this COVID is good. Some things are good to.
So finding a bit more balance now, or do you think
balance?
Or do you think you're rested and you want to go again, or is it more now what the balance needs to be?
It'd be healthier, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I know what my limits are, and the kids are not small, so I can just. I've still got that energy in me to do it when I need to do it, but not surviving in it every single day. Yeah, so
it'd be interesting to see where Luby
goes. Yeah, who knows?
That was Lucy Wilkinson, or as she may well be known, Luby Lou the Clown. Thanks so much for listening to the show this week, and please do make sure to click the follow button on your podcast app so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to check out Ministry of Work, where you can also sign up for a free trial day. This episode was produced, recorded and edited right here at Ministry of Work, with a special thanks to our studio manager Dan Brown and, of course, to you for listening. I'm Eddie Whittingham, and this has been Greater Manchester's Greatest Minds.